Yeah.
All right. Well, back on the show here, returning guest, we have our Connecticut correspondent for the Black Flag podcast. His favorite term is calling places a racy joint. This is Sean Foster again. What's up, pal?
Oh, you guys actually introduced me this time. That's cool. I remember last time you guys just asked me a question, and I was like, "Are these guys gonna introduce me, or do I just start talking?" I
Oh,
don't
you
know.
did. You figured it out eventually, though. I feel
Yeah,
right.
yeah, we got it.
Was
So
that how the last episode went? I feel like it wasn't. So for those who don't know, we are recording virtually, and it's usually Charlie and I are sitting next to one another and then recording with a guest if we do a Zoom, which is very easy. But now Charlie is upstairs because one of the two of us has tested positive for the coronavirus, and the other one probably has it but hasn't tested positive. So we are now socially distancing. So we all three are on screen. So this might be a weird episode.
That being said, we all feel fine.
Yeah.
Doesn't really seem worthy of like shutting everything, like the stores and everything down, but I feel fine.
Are we keeping it a mystery as to who has the Ronies?
No, I definitely have the Ronies. The only symptom that I've had all day today is that I felt like I needed to sneeze for about an hour and I couldn't sneeze. I was literally standing up staring at a light and I couldn't sneeze, and I was like, oh, so this is what the coronavirus is. All right. So, I mean, whatever.
Yeah, it is what it is, right? So that being said, since the last time you've been on the show, I think we've done some stuff. We FaceTimed you once, I think. So for those that don't know, and for us, what have you been up to? What's the plan for 2021? We doing race car things, or what are we doing, pal?
Yeah, we're gonna do some race car things. Actually, today I was working on my calendar of events, which is right underneath my computer. I just swiveled it so you could see.
Oh.
The last episode, you guys were talking about your must-see events.
Yes.
So I started thinking of that, and I have my own must-see events. That includes Chili Bowl, which I'm not going to go this year. I'll go next year, though. I haven't done the snowballing yet, and I've never done PRI. And Bowman Gray. Have you guys been to Bowman Gray?
I've been to Bowman Gray, like just was there in the parking lot and saw the facility. That's about it. I've never actually like
been to Bowman Gray. Then I've also been to Bowman Gray's parking lot and looked at the vicinity.
Yeah, that's about all I've done. It's in a very weird spot. It's in like literally downtown. It's kind of wild, honestly. But yeah, no, I'd be down to go to a trip down to Bowman Gray. See what.
Yeah, well, why don't you guys have that on your must see for 2021?
Because if COVID isn't a thing in the next few months, I'm actually going to be probably NASCARing more than I was.
COVID's practically gone, so you know.
Right? Yeah, it's only in my basement. So,
I don't think anyone has.
Hey, have some respect. It's also in the computer room. You just can't test positive. You don't get tested. That's
right. You get it.
So what's in the basement other than Sick Brad? Is it is that the hangout room where you guys all touch? Yeah.
It's the TV compound. It's a disaster right now, but we record shit over there when there's a bunch of stuff stuffed on the table.
There's a bunch of trophies there. A lot of them look small. So are those like second, third place, fourth?
Yeah, those are my second and third place trophies from when I was a young
participation trophies. Yeah, and then you have the door to Derek Bukacki's car where he ruined that guy's season at Waterford. You have a Brad Keselowski door, and then all the decorations that you love.
Yeah, the die-cast cars, which being on display proudly will certainly get you laid, I'm sure.
Yeah, we tried to make it comfortable for everyone, so we put a bit of a woman's touch in there, I feel. They seem to love the die-cast. They seem to love the 3 TVs. They don't hate the trophies.
Between the die-cast cars, and I'm also staring at is that your bedroom?
This is the computer room.
Oh, the computer room has, I already mentioned, but floral print shades.
Yes.
So that's, you guys know what you're doing.
Yeah, no, for sure. Like, honestly, like, I don't think we need anybody to come in and help decorate because I think we have it covered, quite honestly. You can't see it to my left, too. There's, like, a bunch of signed hockey pictures and a nice Molson Ice tin sign that is also nailed up.
Pictures. Yeah, bitches love hockey. If I know anything about women, I think the thing for women that's here nowadays is the Trulies. So
Yeah.
Drinking those, coronavirus or not.
Yeah, for whatever it's worth, the whole housing situation kind of was thrown in upon us. So we have yet to really kind of redo a lot.
Well, really, it wasn't thrown upon you. It was because you guys were being irresponsible and not being, contained.
No, I meant like why I have floral fucking prints on the windows still.
Oh.
Yeah, you get it.
Might be.
What's irresponsible about French kissing strangers?
Yeah.
I mean, really.
Asking for a friend.
Yeah, it's 2021 now. The coronavirus. I guess I didn't leave the coronavirus in 2020, but it was very convenient that we went to 50 racetracks in 7 different states, traveled more than we ever have, and I got the coronavirus on New Year's Eve. Actually, I didn't get the coronavirus on New Year's Eve. I tested positive on New Year's Eve, which is conveniently the last day that my work was giving out coronavirus pay. So now I don't get paid for my whole entire time. And we miss our trip to Dylan this coming week. And basically, life's a movie. Everything's fine. I literally haven't had a symptom since Wednesday. So I think I'm probably cleared, which is why I'm getting boozed up for the 4th night in a row. But it is what it is.
Yeah, the cool part with the working situation too is I'm supposed to start my new job on Monday. So it was fun to give them a nice little jingle this afternoon and be like, hey, so can't come in day 1. Hope you're not mad. So that was a good time. So yeah.
So are you going in now that you're not going to South Carolina?
We've pushed our South Carolina / North Carolina trip off a couple weeks.
Yeah, but did you push off your start date for work?
No, I'm gonna start at home, doing online trainings.
Oh.
Yeah.
You guys train all the time, don't you?
I finagled that out of my ass for sure.
That seems like that's going to cut into my iRacing time, which just really bummed me out. But it is what it is.
I can use your laptop, I guess.
That's true. I will clean it off with disinfectant and stuff.
Yeah, just don't like shit on it or anything, and I guess we're fine.
You get tested on Monday, so that'll be the moment of truth.
Yeah.
And then we can record Zoom calls sitting next to one another and coughing on each other.
Yeah, it is what it is.
Back to the good old days.
Yeah.
By the way, I couldn't help but think, Charlie, you seem to have a big issue with Christmas, and that bothered me.
Why is that?
You know what? It's not even that it bothers me. Like, I understand a lot of people don't like Christmas holidays for whatever reason, and that's fine. But if you don't like a holiday that everyone enjoys, then you're doing it wrong. And this should be a lesson that you already know. Like, if you don't like a holiday, if something is not cool about a holiday, you start a tradition. You start doing something fun on that day.
Okay, so what are your recommendations for me? What is it that I have to do? What am I doing wrong?
I don't know. Take a road trip somewhere.
I feel like I did all right. I put the tree up. I got Bradley a T-shirt. We had a time. It wasn't the most Christmassy Christmas of all Christmases, but I feel like we made it work.
Yeah, it was very festive. He put a tree up like Christmas Eve. Really got in the holiday spirit. Started the Christmas music significantly too early, in my opinion, on Christmas Day.
It was like 11.
I think he enjoyed Christmas this year. I think he actually did it. I think he did it right. I mean,
all right. So you can embrace it now.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know about that. I made it work for. See, I'm very much, or I try not to be the person where if I don't like or don't want to do something or don't care for a certain situation, I try not to make it everyone else's problem. I know that I do sometimes, but that being said, Bradley and others like Christmas, so I wasn't going to make it their problem that I don't.
Well, this is a tradition now. You two can spend Christmas together and do whatever you did. Play candy cane hook or something like that. Candy cane toss.
Yep. Yeah. I'll get Bradley his annual fucking Golden Girls T-shirt, and it's
the coronavirus together. Yeah.
Yeah, it'll be fine.
Yeah, you guys didn't pick up on what I was talking about with the candy cane toss, but whatever.
Should I? What is that?
Yeah, elaborate.
Like imagination, don't you?
But we have a crowd listening to us. That's the thing.
Oh, like that stops you.
Well, you make a good point.
Yeah. So, is there any big news in the Connecticut world of auto racing? Since you are our Connecticut correspondent to the Black Flag Podcast, any big news? Any big rumblings that we should be aware of?
Yeah, Bruce Beamer, the owner of the New London Waterford Speed Bowl, got stabbed multiple times.
Like knifey stabby stab?
Yeah, with a knife.
Oh, not a candy cane?
No, not a sharpened candy cane. No.
So is there more to that, or is that it?
The stabber, which is his lover, has a trial date coming up for attempted murder.
Did you say his lover?
Yes, yeah, he's a gay man.
Okay, that wasn't the answer I was expecting, but all right.
Yeah.
That's a strange way.
Not that there's anything wrong with that.
No, that's fine. We welcome all parties to the show here.
No, it's just a very strange way to show affection.
Yeah, I don't understand.
Right.
Did he like, I don't know, shit in bed or something, or what happened?
Excuse me?
Did he not do the dishes? What happened? I don't understand.
No, I'm not sure.
Oh.
But I'm sure you've heard a little history of the New London Waterford Speed Bowl and their.
Well, I think being our Connecticut correspondent, you could probably just brush up some of the people on their Connecticut racetrack history and what's going on in the world there.
No thanks.
Okay. All right.
Everyone has internet.
Yeah, that's true. All right. So
Where-
is he dead?
Yeah. No, he's not.
Oh, all right. That's good.
No, he's healing.
So he's not dead. All right.
Mm-hmm.
So Sean messaged me on Thursday and said, "Sir, what are my friends doing this weekend?" And that was about 20 minutes after I scheduled the test for the coronavirus thing. And basically said, "I had a fever yesterday and now I'm getting COVID tested. So I basically think I fucked my weekend plans up before I made any." And he said, "Well, that means you fucked my weekend plans up too. Thanks a lot." So now we're hanging out, Sean. I mean, sorry for fucking your plans up, but we're gonna make up for it next weekend because I can legally go back outside into the general public on Friday. And I think that we're gonna get a big group to go to Foxwoods. And then I can't give anyone the coronavirus and I can't get it again. So basically I'm probably just gonna like allow people to cough and sneeze all over me.
Cool. So right now you're barely legal.
Yeah, well, yeah. Yeah. I mean I'm
Maybe I can kill Scene again in a go-kart. Helicopter him around in the air.
Yeah. Ring in.
It's not the first time you see me do helicopters.
No, penis and otherwise.
Ring it in 2021, the first weekend with COVID. Ring in the second with neck injury. It seems like a good way to start the year.
Yeah, they call that necrophilia, I think.
I don't think they do.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it is.
I'm pretty. I'm like almost positive it's not.
Yeah, sounds right.
Feels right, but I don't know.
Right.
Yeah, you get it.
Seems right.
So did you do any? So it is the officially the 2nd of January. We're recording a day early because things are fucked, like Bradley said. So what'd you do for New Year's? Did you do anything cool? Did you jerk off? What'd you do?
Yeah, I did a little Django, and that's about it.
Scene and I were gonna FaceTime each other and play Soldier Boy together and crank that and kiss me through the phone and stuff, but
Yes.
we didn't quite get there. I think I fell asleep early because COVID and exhaustion and stuff. It is what it is.
No, I understand.
I had a good Christmas. Christmas was cool with the family and everything, and I always do like a fireworks display of some sort for my niece and nephew and whatnot.
Did you get anything cool?
Yeah, got some good ones right up in New Hampshire there,
Yeah.
right at the border.
Did you cause a scene in the neighborhood?
Yeah, a lot of cheers though,
That's good.
like a good scene.
Like a scene Foster almost.
Hey, all right.
You see what I did there?
Very good. I like that.
I thought so.
Yeah.
I'm so glad that you're one of the only people that actually answer my drunken FaceTimes because that's the second party that I've been at where I've been like, you know what's a really good idea, Charlie and or Bobby? We should FaceTime Scene Foster. And you always answer.
You're welcome.
It's very nice of you.
Yeah, you're doing us a solid right now too for filling in for this Zoom call here as well.
For who?
I said you're doing us a solid here by doing this Zoom call for us.
Oh.
Yeah.
Why, you didn't have anybody in line or anything like that?
Oh no, we did, but when you have relatively important people that were supposed to come to your house, and you're like, oh, by the way, we're contagious. It doesn't usually work out all that well. So, so here we are. So thank you for being option number 2.
Thank you. I always enjoy number 2.
Jesus.
Want to play a little Answer the Internet?
Yeah.
You seem to do it. I'm so confused. A full-grown great white versus a full-grown polar bear in an Olympic-sized swimming pool that is 7 feet deep and 75 degrees Fahrenheit. Who wins?
You said great white, right?
Yeah, that's a stupid question, actually, because the great white one, right?
It's in the swimming pool. Why would the shark not win?
75 degrees. Okay. If you could make your dick as big as you wanted, but for every inch you'd lose 2 years off your life, how big would you make it?
I would say between the 8 and 10 range. I mean, I'm not really enjoying life much as it is, so you know, I could just go for like the full 20 and.
So you're not doing sex all that much,
and just end it now. Am I the only one that's going to answer these?
I asked you a question.
Oh, I brushed it off.
I figured as much. Yeah. Wait, your dick or the question?
All the above.
Oh wow, that's a lot. Or is it? I don't know. That's also part of the question, I guess.
But like, if you're gonna die at 90 and you take, what was it, 2 years off your life for every inch? I mean, Christ, I don't know.
But that's assuming you know when you're gonna die, though.
Well, yeah, that's true. I have the coronavirus. I could die in my sleep tonight.
You're certainly not making it to 90, so.
Okay, that.
What is that supposed to mean, sir?
Well, he treats his body like a wasteland.
Well,
what
how
is
about
that?
eat a cosmic brownie for dinner?
Oh wow.
Yeah, my diet went out the window. I would go probably I would go a respectable 7 inches. So I'd be an inch above average, but also not die at 44 instead of however much the mat is on top of that.
46.
Yeah.
You get it.
So what is your answer?
We'll go with like 9.
Okay.
What do you do with a 9-inch hog? I feel like that's just a lot.
Yeah, but it's enough to make a lot of noise.
I mean, yeah, I guess. This is true.
What's the worst drunk food you can eat after a night of drinking?
Oof.
Did you say worst?
Yeah, worst.
I can't answer that.
Why can't you answer that?
Because it's just the worst food that I can think of would be
Which
the answer.
is
Olives.
You don't like olives?
No.
I fucking love olives.
Just a bowl of tomatoes?
Oh.
I'm a tomato fan.
Oh no, we don't tomato here at the compound. Not allowed.
You guys were mentioning Loudon in your last episode. I didn't know that you guys did a lot of growing up at Loudon. Both of you?
Yes, very much so.
Yeah.
I assume you probably went very often? Or no?
Very much so.
Yeah.
So I know the last time that we were together, I brought up Danny Cates, who was like my longtime pal. We used to race go-karts together, and ever since we knew each other since we were like 10. But so Danny's dad and my dad, they both got along really good. They were both, they're both like blue-collar guys. My dad owned a electrical business. Danny's dad, Doug, he owned a concrete business, so they got along really good. And so we would go to Loudon, and we were young because I remember they used to have like, did you guys ever go when they had the Winston concerts? Like this is back in the Winston days. So out in like the parking lots and stuff where all the campers were, they had this entire area, which I think it's right at the entry of X Lot is where they had it. And so they had this giant, almost like an outdoor festival with a stage and everything like that. Well, Danny and I, we'd go hang out all weekend. Danny's dad and my dad, they would take us to Loudon every year and camp. And we went to, we would go to this festival concert, which had awesome music, big sea of people, a lot of drunks. But I remembered we would be in the concert place, and my dad loves telling the story of the first time that we went, because we were in like the sea of people, but seeing how me and Danny were so young, like we weren't fully developed. So we weren't like tall. We're like, you know, titty height to everybody. And there's drunks spilling beer all over us. So we can't see anything. We can only like hear the music. But I remember, so my dad loves telling the story because at a certain point, we must have been doing like the tug on dad's sleeve type thing. Like, hey, is there anything else to do around here? And so here's my dad and Doug. They're both like looking at each other like, oh, geez, these freaking kids are ruining our fun. So they brainstormed for a minute, and then they noticed that there was some picnic tables like over here somewhere. And so they took me and Danny and just picked us up and plopped us on the picnic table so we could see everything. And holy shit, topless girls everywhere.
Let's go.
Yeah. So and at any point in time, you could look in one direction. Like me and Danny are just ecstatic about this. And we're like nudging each other like, hey, over here, over here. And meanwhile, he's like, no, over here.
How old would you say you are right now?
I would say 12.
Perfect.
I mean, it was before we were tall enough to be able to see much of anything. And so every year we just got more and more into it after that, because we started realizing how important beads are. So one year we acquired a bunch of beads, and we also realized quickly how fast you run out of beads when you're throwing these beads. So here we are, like we're evil kids. We're definitely didn't grow up to be, you know, the nicest ones. So we would kind of stand in the backgrounds of where everyone was standing and kind of create our own little circle of pals. And so since we didn't want to waste all our beads so quick, we started just breaking them and tying them in knots. And then Danny and I, we would always kind of argue with each other who was like a better baseball player, because we always played baseball as kids, and who was like the better pitcher. So we would basically start like putting bets as to who could, like, we were just going for headshots on any girl that would stand up on somebody's shoulders. So that was the exciting parts of Loudon. We would always steal banners too. That was always a fun thing, because Winston always sponsored it. So they would always, it seemed like every year they would have like 2 or 3 new slogans they would put on their banners. And so every year it was always like a challenge. Like, you know, Danny and I were like, all right, we got to get this banner, that banner. And I remember we would run around all of Loudon with like dikes and just cut down any banner that we would like. And I remember one year we were so adamant about just getting as many banners as we could that we just started taking them and throwing them in our camper. So we would throw all of them in our camper, and then we'd run out. All right, let's go get some more. You know, we wanted to get every single marketing, you know, every single business we could, you know, the Miller Lite, the Skulls, the Winstons, all of them. And I remember Danny and I, we would always set up our PlayStation and TV outside, you know, the whole day. And our dads came back while we were sitting there playing PlayStation, and Danny's father opens up the camper door, and there's just banners like falling out from inside. What the fuck did you guys do? We just couldn't stop but laughing. That was a lot of fun. One year they had Terry Labonte, like a life-size cutout.
Gotta have it.
And for some reason, I don't know if it was, I think it was a Quaker State promotional thing. He was holding up like a Quaker State bottle, and they were giving these out for free. And by that night, you know, let's say Thursday, they were giving them out. By Thursday, I mean, people are doing the most cruel things you could ever imagine to these cardboard cutouts with, you know, penises and blow up dolls and all kinds of good stuff. People would cut the arms, because he's holding up a Quaker State, and they would cut the arms and like maneuver it so that it's down near his privates and everything. We had a lot of fun with that stuff. But yeah, so Loudon, my point is that it's very close to my heart also.
So you're gonna be part of the BFP banger, is that what you're saying?
Absolutely.
Cool beans. So other than Loudon, what else are we looking forward to here? Like of things that you're actually gonna do? What do you know that you're gonna do that you're looking forward to?
Well, I mentioned all of those events. A lot of them I think are going to get put off till 2022. Like I said, Chili Bowl, I don't feel like going to Chili Bowl with not get the full experience. So
right.
I'll wait for that one. The other thing, this meeting has been upgraded by the host and now includes unlimited minutes. Oh, good job, guys.
Thanks. I didn't do anything at all.
Oh, okay. I'll just X that out. So, did I mention to you guys about my motorcycle road trips?
I think in private, yes, but not on the show.
All right.
Yeah, tell people about this. This is actually something wild. So, again, you're from Connecticut, right? Basically. See. So you're from Connecticut. You're a very Thompson, Stafford-esque person. Mm-hmm. But this motorcycle business that you're telling us about, this was actually at the camper. I think you were telling Rusty and I about it. I don't know if Brad was even part of the conversation. You take this motorcycle and you take it all over the place, right? Then this started at a racetrack, did it not, the conversation?
Well, yeah. So my group of close pals who were all racers, my friend like Danny Cates, Sullivan brothers, Tim and Brian Sullivan, it started out as like sitting around a campfire drinking beers, and we all raced. So at the time, since we were all racing, it's like, all right, guys, we bust our ass. Like, you know how it is from whatever, March until October, you're nonstop just working on race cars. So we all kind of said, all right, you know what we ought to do is like once October hits, once like the last race of the year hits, we should all get together and do a trip of some sort. So it's like, yeah, that's a great idea. So everyone starts brainstorming. And somebody says, I think we should do a road trip. Now everybody's excited. Like, that's the greatest idea ever. So we start throwing more ideas out, like renting a bus, that type of thing. And then somebody says, how about motorcycle road trip? And everyone's, again, this is the greatest idea we've ever heard. But, only a couple seconds later, somebody from the group is like, does anyone here have a motorcycle? And I was like, no. Like, nobody from the entire group of, let's say, 10 people had a motorcycle. So a little more brainstorming. And we said, all right, here's the deal. We put a cap on it. You're only allowed to spend $500 on a motorcycle. And the crowd goes wild. This is like the greatest idea ever invented. So fast forward, I start looking diligently for a bike. I find a 1980 Suzuki GS 1000. $450. It needs a battery. I clean the carburetors up. It runs like new. I'm in good shape. So I get the bike and I see all my pals like a week later. And I was like, I got my phone with the pictures on. I'm like, guys, check this out. And they're looking at it. They're like, what's that? I was like, it's for the road trip. Like, how you guys looking? Did you find anything yet? And they all look at it and look at each other and like, you were serious about that? So I'm like, yes, I was serious about it. So fast forward, I think I had the bike for like a year. And I keep telling them, I'm like, guys, look for a bike because I'm going. And then finally, I told them a date. I was like, October, whatever. It's like, I'm leaving. So if you guys are going, you better get your shit together. And the date came and I took a trip by myself. So I basically do these trips in legs, in segments, but I leave the bike different places throughout the country. So I don't have to worry about traveling all the way back home type of thing. So the first trip, I have like a bunch of rules. So like, got to do racing related, whether it's visit a short track, that type of thing. There's always got to be an event, usually non-racing also. So scheduling it can be kind of tough because usually this is October that I do these trips. Got to sleep on the bike one night. I don't know, there ain't too many more, but it's pretty much like open schedule for the most part. So the first year I did like a big loop from Connecticut, big loop inland, went to like Ventura Speedway. Bradley, you went there, right?
Yeah, nice place.
Very. Which was it was a great time. I went there and I remembered I ended up telling the right person my story, and I got to sit in the VIP booth the whole night, right, with the trophy girl and everything. It was beautiful. And then so the loop inland, like it was Nashville. I went to Nashville. I ended up at Myrtle Beach, and I have an aunt and uncle that live there, so I got to keep the bike there for free for the following year. So the following year, it was Myrtle Beach to Key West, and then I left the bike in Daytona. And then the third year, my friend Max joined me because he was very jealous that I was doing this trip and he wasn't part of it. So one of my friends, Max, joined me from coast to coast. We went from Daytona to San Diego, California. And then last was a year and a half ago now because it was in October. So we skipped out this past year. But last leg was the whole West Coast, the entire coast, Pacific coast. So we went from San Diego to Seattle. And the bike is in Seattle now. I had two of my friends, Danny Cates and my friend Mikey, join me in the West Coast trip. So I haven't been alone for all of them.
So you said the bike is in Seattle right now?
Correct.
So what's the next trip planned from Seattle?
Next one was going to be a big one. It was supposed to be, I changed it up, and I was going to do in May. It was supposed to be, so Seattle was going to go through like Yellowstone and end up going to Vegas. Vegas, you guys ever go to an EDM concert festival?
Yes, worth your time.
Oh yes, very much so. That was the West Coast trip. I did that. I went to this Escape Circus, which is in San Bernardino, California. And I always said always wanted to go to one of those. They just say the energy is like that great. It's awesome. It was cool. As I was walking in, obviously, like I said, I'm all alone. And as I'm walking in, I don't know, I met friends like immediately. And so they asking me questions. They're like, wait, is this your first time like going to an EDM show? I was like, yeah, I've never been to a rave before. And they're like, oh my God, you have to hang out with us. This is so much fun. And so I started telling them the motorcycle story and all that. So, you always hear about like the drug scene also. So we get into the concert, and this group of pals that I'm with now, they're one of them asked me like, hey, so do you roll? I was like, fuck yeah, rock and roll every day, man. And I don't know what they're talking about. So he just puts out his hand, and he's got like a pill in his hand, and I was like, oh, gotcha. Yeah, no, I don't do that. Sorry. But yeah, that's how I learned what rolling means. But anyway, this trip, Seattle, Yellowstone, Vegas for it's like the granddaddy of EDM concerts. It's EDC. It's at Las Vegas Motor Speedway. It looks massive from the pictures. So it was going to be that. I was going to go to so I'd go through Colorado. I was hoping to do some like skiing. I always like the idea of skiing with like a sweatshirt on type of thing. So skiing, go to a Milwaukee Brewers game because I hear that's the best place to watch a ball game. And then I was going to end it, schedule timeline from EDC. 1 week later is Memorial Day, so it was going to be Indy 500.
Oof. All right.
In there. So the Roni virus put a damper on all that, obviously. So
was the plan to leave the bike in Indianapolis, or were you going to end up just coming back from there after the Indy 500?
I don't know.
Yeah, I was going to say, because on the way back through, you go right through Pittsburgh, and I would argue that I've never been to Milwaukee, but Pittsburgh is also one of the top places to watch a ball game. Don't go in with any expectations that the home team's going to win, because they are maybe the worst franchise in all of sports. But hey, I mean, good place, nice view. Look it up on Google if you haven't before. If you're not a baseball fan, it's worth your time.
You're saying a Pirates game?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's worth your time, but they're god awful. I mean, the best part about it is that the ticket to the game is like maybe $9.
Okay.
But the view is just worth it. If you don't even have to watch the game, just, I don't know, watch some other baseball game on your phone or something and just see the city in the background.
What's that stadium called?
PNC Park.
Okay.
Yeah.
I remember on the road trip, I ended up going through Pittsburgh, and I took like a little scenic route through. There's like an old Pittsburgh, it's like an area that's like cobblestone roads and like really cool old buildings and stuff. That was really neat. I was hoping to stay for longer, but you know, got shit to do, man.
Yeah. It's a nice city. I mean, it's very laid back. It's like throughout the week, it's very, very busy and populated and stuff. But on the weekends, honestly, when I lived there, it was wild to me that I could just drive down the most popular roads and like you wouldn't even see a car. Like you'd see, a car every mile almost. And it was just very easy to navigate around because it's just everyone's there for work during the week. And then it's not a big tourist destination, I guess, unless the Steelers are playing or the Penguins are playing. So, but
Gotcha.
yeah, it's worth your time. Pass back through after Indianapolis for the 500. I want to go to the 500. So if you end up going like next year or whatever, make sure you let us know. I'll probably fly. I don't know if I'll ride like a pedal bike or something. I don't know about a motorcycle, but yeah.
Why?
I've just never done it.
I had never done it before I went on my trip either.
Oh, okay. That's fine.
Wait, no, how about this? Bradley will buy a $500 motorcycle. I'll get mine out of the garage, and then we'll motorcycle to Indy, and we'll meet in the middle.
Look at that. Fixed.
What if I just put a water bottle in my bicycle pedal, and then I'll just see you guys there in about 4 years?
Yeah, you might want to leave now.
Uh,
like right now. Yeah.
For like
It kind of sounds like Brad's being a pussy.
I mean, that's on Brad. I don't know what to say about that, I guess. But
as I swig my Truly lemonade. Yeah.
Yeah, you should get a. So my friends Danny and Mikey, they rented motorcycles. It's kind of neat. They allow you. There's like, I think it's called Eagle Rentals. They rented a motorcycle to join me on the trip, so they didn't have to buy a motorcycle. So you guys could always buy, a plane ticket to Seattle, and then rent a motorcycle.
Depending on if and when we do this, if we're going to Seattle, we could see a Kraken game in their inaugural season.
Oh yes, that's right. I thought
Seattle.
You said crackhead.
Well, I mean, also, yeah, like maybe, I don't know. I've never been.
I don't know where they are in Seattle, but yeah, that would be kind of neat.
It'd be cool to go to a Seattle Kraken game. Maybe set it up so that the Penguins or the Bruins are playing. We'll have a time.
Yeah, let's set it up around your schedule.
Yeah, no, for sure. Yeah, this doesn't really have anything to do with you, Sean. Like, I understand that.
That's the thing with like Charlie. So like, if we're going in May or whatever, the Kraken, you have very.
No, I said at the end of the year, like October.
He was planning on going in May so that he could go to that festival thing and do the. Why would we? Yeah. So
I said if it happened at that time. That's all I was saying.
To.
Holy shit.
It's not going to.
Well, there's no need to yell at me.
That's not yelling. This would be yelling.
See, that's what I'm getting at. There's no need for that. What's in that cup, pal?
Oh, that's Jaeger Red Bull.
Oh.
Yeah, I never grew out of that. Like that was since college days. And yeah,
is that your go-to?
No, I mix it up a lot. I go from like Budweiser's to Jaeger Red Bulls. I like margaritas. I'll do a homemade margarita. Really good ones too. I'll shake it up with jalapeno peppers in it too.
Yeah.
It's something. It's something is what it is.
It'd be a time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Red Bull sounds pretty fucking good, but very, as of late, I've been on the Truly Berry pack, the variety pack, and then NyQuil, also another good one, and Truly Lemonade. Yeah, those are my three. Those are the ones in rotation as we speak, which is good because we were gifted shot glasses with our faces on them, and they've been very handy with the NyQuil. And I only really need the NyQuil because I get drunk and stay up until 5 a.m. because I have no responsibilities until literally the Monday after this coming Monday. So, like, yeah, I mean, send it, I guess. I'm going to party until next Sunday, I guess. Like, this is
Good
just
for you.
Yeah, thank you. I mean, that's why I'm not going to live till 90, but it is what it is.
Enjoy your young years, sir.
Okay.
Yes, I don't know.
So what's the first event that you know that you're going to this year, though? Like, Are we
Probably
gonna
Bowman Gray.
when's
As far
that?
as like, well, obviously the first event I'll go to is like Thompson World Series or Stafford. Actually, maybe before that I'll go to Bowman Gray because I think Bowman Gray season starts and ends early because they do the football thing. So I think they start in like maybe early April.
I just looked it up. I think it's April 17th is their first weekend, which is kind of inconvenient because the American Canadian Tour announced that they're going to Hickory, and they are going to Hickory on the 2nd and 3rd to have twin 125 lap races. And I was like, oh, how cool would it be if Bowman Gray happened to race? Maybe go to Hickory one night and then Bowman Gray the next. But no, Bowman Gray starts April 17th with the Hayes Jewelers 200 lap modified race, which seems like it's also worth our time. So that's going to be a tough decision because I'm definitely going to go. I've never been to Hickory, never been to Bowman. Well, never seen a race at Bowman Gray. But yeah, it's going to be tough because like that would be that's not even a week. That's 2 weeks. Fuck. All right, never mind. I mean, maybe if we're rich and famous by April, we'll get flights just for the weekends. But I mean, who knows, really? I mean, I might not even be alive tomorrow, so.
Yeah, that'd be a loss.
Yeah. I can tell that you're already mourning just by the thought of it.
Mm-hmm.
I don't mean to ruin your next weekend's plans too.
Yeah, don't even bother.
So what are you busy with tomorrow that makes it so that we have to record this podcast tonight?
Tomorrow is you guys have met Nicole LaRose?
Yeah, I kind of just wanted you to touch on that because I kind of figured that's what you're doing.
All right. Well, let me touch on it. So you want me to explain it to your awesome viewers or no?
Yes. Because I don't even know what you're talking about.
We have one of the calendars actually down here in the compound that I'll go grab and show to the people that can also watch this because this is an audio program.
All right. Very good. So Bradley's not here right now. Talk all kinds of trash about him.
Just talk shit real quick behind his back.
Yeah, actually, he's too much of an easy target. So,
well,
anyway,
I was literally 4 feet to the right. Like we weren't even socially distancing. I could hear everything you were saying. So this is what he's talking about, Charles.
Anyway.
Oh yeah. Okay, yeah.
So yeah, Nicole is a lovely, gifted individual, excellent person. She's a huge racing fan, and she does all kinds of stuff. Like she's always behind the scenes, whether it's, she's an official, not an official, but a media person kind of for Stafford. She works directly for Stafford. I think she's done a lot of, odd jobs at the other local tracks. She's involved with the Tri-Track series. So she's one of the excellent young people that's involved in our sport that we want around in our sport. So a few years ago, she came up with this very great idea of creating. So she's into photography, and so she took a bunch of photos of different racers, race cars, stuff like that, and created a calendar. Came up with the idea to sell these calendars. And every person that would purchase a calendar, you would give the name of a racer to put into a raffle/hat. And basically, the proceeds of the calendar sales would go into a pot, and it would be a sponsorship for Nicole LaRose Photography, I guess would be her business considered. So the first year, it was, if I remember, it was $5,000. Now, what I don't remember is, I remember one year she came up with a surprise, and I don't know if it was the original year, but one year she came up with a surprise that she had made more money than expected with the calendar sales. And I think the second place prize was $2,500. And I think that that's continued throughout. So yeah, it's a really neat thing. She does like a Facebook Live event where everybody can, view. So nobody's going to be able to view it. So it's really useless that I promote it through this stupid show, which is airing Monday, right?
Right.
We can air it tonight, actually, if you would like.
Yeah, we could do that.
Well, that would be a good idea, probably.
Yeah.
So I think it's 7:00 on Nicole LaRose's Facebook page. I think she has a Facebook, like her fan page, I think you would call it. But yeah, so it's a cool thing. It's a raffle. She does it at her household where there's a bunch of her family and friends around, and you know, socially distancing, and it's a wonderful thing. It's an excellent thing that she does.
That's cool. We definitely need more people and stuff like that, I think, just to even promote what we love doing so much on the weekends. So you love to see that for sure.
Yeah, you got that right.
Yeah.
You sure got that right.
So that being said, when we first met, you or we were introduced to you as Short Track Racer. I didn't know your name. That's just what we were told you were. So we've touched on that before the last time you were on the show. So are we ever going to see a resurrection of that? Because these videos, they're pretty fucking funny. Like they're worth your time.
Thank you. Yeah, I plan on having an erection on that this year, actually.
An erection.
Yep. Nice. So the thing is, I'm in a toss-up. I haven't raced really much in the last couple of years. Just financially is the reason. So I've slowly crawled my way out of debt, and so I'm gonna go racing this year. What I'm gonna do yet, I'm not really sure. I have two modifieds right now. One of them's kind of more set up for SK racing, and another one I'm getting set up to do like tri-track series type races. I don't have like a tour type motor, so I don't know if I'll be competitive or not, but I have like it's an old pro stock motor that my brother used to have a pro stock, and so they sold the car but kept the motor. So it's going to be a pretty powerful engine, but it's not going to be anything like a tour type engine. But I'm hoping at some of the small tracks like a Seekonk, I might be somewhat competitive. I don't know. Might go there, get my dick stomped in, and decide not to do that anymore. I'm not sure.
Well, that's a spare. I didn't realize you still had a couple cars just hanging around ready to go.
Yeah. Have an SK car that just financially didn't have enough to get it on the track, didn't have enough to kind of do the updates on it. So, yeah. So, but I haven't been up doing much of the shop for those reasons, because I can't go to the shop if I don't have money to buy parts and whatnot. So,
one of those things, if you can't do it right, don't do it at all.
That's right.
Yeah, so. I respect that. I get that. So that'd be exciting for us, I think. I want to see Scene Foster wheel a fucking race car.
Yeah. I would like to see that as well.
Well, you would be doing it, so that I think you would just inherently see it. So
that's right.
So what I'm hearing is it sounds like you're not going to Speed Weeks. Is that a confirmed no? Because I think when I got drunk and we were running our face to you on FaceTime a couple weeks ago, we were trying to get you to come hang out at Speed Weeks. Is that not?
Well, technically, we were trying to get him to hang out that night, but he was too much of a pussy to drive 2 hours.
Yeah, at 10 o'clock. Yeah.
I think it was like 11, actually.
Yeah. No, it's not official. So last year I went solely because Ryan Priest had asked me to do like the video. Did you guys see the Ryan Priest video of Daytona?
Yeah.
So it was kind of, you know, he does, as we all know, he does like a lot of racing, keeping with his roots with the modifieds and stuff. Last year he ran 2 or 3 nights at New Smyrna Speedway, leading up to the Daytona 500. So we got to do a bunch of footage and had a great time. A lot of fun. Got some cool in-car footage. He didn't do that good at New Smyrna, or he didn't do good. He finished like 4th or something like that, that would be heroic of me, but very lackluster for him, seeing how he's a NASCAR guy. But either way, we had like tons of fun, got tons of great footage, and the video was I don't know, I enjoyed making it and watching it after I made it, so that satisfied me. So if Ryan Priest ends up reaching out to me again to do the video series again, because he is racing New Smyrna again this year, he told me possibly the entire week this year, so we'll see. It's all in Ryan Priest's hands, so
it's up to Ryan Priest if Short Track Racer makes it.
Well, it's up to everyone to reach out to Ryan Priest and request.
Well, I'm
I
sure
think
Ryan Priest listens to this, so yeah, he'll
yeah.
hear it.
Yeah, right.
I think we can make that happen.
Last year, I think my favorite part of the video was, so you might have seen, there was some footage of the infield of Daytona. There was a bunch of wheelbarrow races going on. I probably shouldn't tell this story, but I will. So we're sitting there and somebody took the time supposedly to paint and letter up a bunch of wheelbarrows and do like, the graphics of a bunch of NASCAR cars. There was like numbers on the side of them and the sponsors and everything. It was kind of neat. So here's like a bunch of drunk people late at night. And, this was the crowd, where the crowd was, just watching everybody do wheelbarrow race. So there's like 4 or 5 people lined up, one person sitting in the wheelbarrow, and then there's a pusher, obviously. And they had a cone set up, I don't know, 50, 60, 70 feet away, something like that. So the idea was to go around the cone and then come back to the start finish line. So we're watching this, and I'm pretty tuned up at this point. And watching it, Ryan's there, and he says, "Hey, let's do the wheelbarrow race." And I said, "No, that's a bad idea." Me being very responsible. And he's like, "Why?" I was like, "Cause I'm kind of competitive, and I will not take a loss on that." And he's like, "Come on, it'll be fine." I was like, "I really think it's a bad idea." He says, "No, come on, this will be fine." So sure enough, he wants me to push him. He's sitting in the wheelbarrow. And so we get the green flag, and collision happens, like a big collision, which is in the video. You'll see it's violent, I should say. I end up basically rolling over him, like the handles and me basically like fold him up at the waist. Like he ends up landing on his ass and folding. I folded him like a book, basically at the waist. And I remember being very nervous at this point, like, holy shit, I just hurt Ryan Priest, who has to race the Daytona 500, tomorrow. And this is a bad deal. And to my thank Christ, he sprouted right up quick, and I was like, holy shit, are you okay? Like, yeah. It's like, let's go, we got to finish. So I was like, all right, I didn't think he would even care to finish, but whatever. He jumps back in, and luckily me and him had the exact same idea at this point, which is to wreck the guy who at least we thought wrecked us. So we ended up going straight for that guy as he was going in his turnaround around the cone, and ruined his day too. So yeah, very that like I said, I probably shouldn't have said that, but
I think he'll be fine.
I think he'll be fine. I'm sure all 3 of your listeners aren't going to say anything.
3?
Yeah, it's us 3 on the Zoom call. Right?
Yeah, like it's usually just the 2 of us, and now you're here, so I guess that is 3. So
yeah, I'm sure you have a lot.
Nah.
Maybe as of late, but
yeah,
not usually. They'll see Sean Foster, and they'll be like, "Oh, I don't even know who that is."
That's false.
Yeah.
I'm a well-known and well-respected man in this small community of racing.
I know. Our shows with Connecticut people do very well. Very well. Like better than even a couple of the shows we've done in the last like handful, which I would think would be very high up there. No, the ones with Connecticut folk do a little bit better.
no.
I like hearing that. I'm standing a little taller now.
Like right like this, or
Yeah, kind of like that. Yeah, I'm not gonna stand up. That's for sure.
Might flip the table over if you do.
It's the best thing about a Zoom call is you don't need pants on.
No.
So you guys are going to Speed Weeks for the whole shenanigan.
Yeah, it's like 12 days, isn't it, Bradley?
Yeah, so we have quite the after I beat COVID, hopefully. We now that our Dillon trip got canceled, we are now going the 21st through the 25th, I believe, to North Carolina. Yes. And the only thing that races around that time is Millbridge. So we'll be going to watch Millbridge. That'll be the first race of the year that we will watch. And then we're going 10 days later after we return home. We are flying to Orlando. Our housing situation hasn't quite been figured out yet, but we are going to be at Speed Weeks for the entire deal. And yeah, I mean, I think Saturday or Sunday is going to be Volusia, I would have to assume. That Friday night, I think I already looked it up, the Tampa Bay Lightning play the Detroit Red Wings in Tampa. So we might go catch a hockey game if that's allowed. Florida's kind of wild. So, I mean, if you can have strippers' titties in your face, I feel like you could probably watch a hockey game. But that's, it is what it is. So, yeah, I think we're going to do that if we can. Volusia Saturday and or Sunday. And then got to be at New Smyrna for the ARCA race on Monday. And then probably the rest of the week, I would have to assume, and then head over to Daytona later in the week. I don't know what we'll go catch. I'm sure it would be cool to catch as much Daytona as we can, but then again, I don't know. I've looked at the schedules a lot of times, but if I can get to Volusia one day, I think that'll scratch the itch. One thing about Volusia that I realized is that Lernerville is much cooler. So that it is what it is.
It is what it is.
Have you? So other than when you went down, did you do like the whole experience, or did you just hang out with Ryan and do the modified deal in the 500, or did you get to do anything else, like kind of on the outskirts?
Like what?
I don't know, like hang out like in Daytona, do other stuff, go to other racetracks, or just go to New Smyrna?
Yeah. No, we didn't do Volusia, but I've been to Volusia a bunch. I've done the Speed Week thing a bunch of times. So yeah, I've toured around and whatnot. And every year, you see, this is something that I probably shouldn't say to disgruntle people, but it really sucks when you have like a job to do.
Oh yeah.
Like if you're a crew member, I gotta be honest, it's awful. It's the worst time ever. You have to get to the track extremely early, and you're usually there till extremely late, to the point where there's like no restaurants open. So everybody who goes to New Smyrna and does like the whole crew thing, they know what it's like to, at the end of the night, like, all right, well, what's open? I think there is one place that stays open. It used to be Pub 44, but that closed, and now there's another place that I think everyone goes to, which I believe is in like one of the marinas of New Smyrna. A cool place also, but yeah, it's tricky, and so it kind of sucks. And you think you're going down there for a vacation, and kind of not. So I try anytime that I go down now, I try to make sure that I give myself ample time to do other things. Last year, beyond the Ryan Priest thing, Danny Cate's father was turning 60, and he lives in Homosassa, Florida. And we took a trip. So I flew with all my pals, and there was like a group of 12 of us, I think, that surprised him for his birthday. And so the timing worked out perfect, where I could go from Tampa to Daytona. I got a rental car while everyone else flew home after like a nice 3-day party weekend. And I got to continue it on and have like an entire week out of it. Had a really good time with that party. So this Homosassa is near Tampa, and it's kind of weird. Like, I guess we go there. I think of Florida as that's where everyone goes to party and vacation, right? Well, I guess there's like certain towns and areas and communities that it's not really like that. They don't really care for a bunch of young kids showing up and whooping it up and disturbing the peace, I guess. And so I have this, I don't know, there's part of my brain, there's like the immature part of my brain that's still there, where I can't like pass by one of those, the signs with the removable letters, that type of thing. So we would go to this bar every time, and I couldn't walk past it without rearranging letters and just doing all kinds of dirty phrases and stuff. And this was the same bar that we went to 3 nights in a row. And by the 3rd night, they were ready for us to catch us red-handed. And to my surprise, they were extremely upset.
To your surprise.
Yeah. And I remember like getting yelled at, like me and a couple pals are getting yelled at by the owners. And we're like, yeah, well, it's okay. We'll just, we'll we'll put it up. Let's take a picture and then we'll take it down. And they were very unhappy about it. It's like, all right, and they ended up being okay with us once they realized, like, I guess our side of the story, which is, yeah, we thought this was just Florida, it's Disneyland and party.
Just wait, the whole state isn't like this?
Yeah. So
what are some of the phrases you were putting
up? I think one of them was there was like a band in town. I remember it said like welcome, whatever band. And I think I made it so it said welcome Big Dick Sean from Connecticut. I don't know if I can do the other ones, but that was
Big
my
Dick
name.
Sean.
Yeah, please welcome Big Dick Sean from Connecticut this Friday.
You mean this isn't Miami?
Episode 97 of the Black Flag Podcast. Please welcome Big Dick Sean from Connecticut.
All right, that's a good one. I'll get some clicks.
Oh, that's a good one. I like that. Oh, fuck.
See, the thing that you said earlier about going down and like having to work for speed weeks, that I obviously have never been. I don't work. I mean, the post office, but not for the next week or doing anything in the racing world really, other than helping Charlie for a time or two. But Charlie's never been to speed weeks where he didn't have to work. So that's why this speed week is going to be neat for me, where I went down to speed weeks last year, I guess 2019, so 2 years ago, whatever. And when we went down, we drove. I think we left Tuesday. We drove to North Carolina because I've always been fascinated with not living in the snow. So my buddy Josh and I, we drove right to. Well, we drove to basically Bowman Gray, looked at the vicinity, then ended up just making our way around Greensboro and down through to like the Petty Museum, the RCR Museum, all that shit. Went to Charlotte, whatever. Stayed the night in South Carolina, made our way to Daytona. Got to Daytona on Wednesday, I believe, and had nothing to do. We were camping on the infield. We drove my dad's Dodge Dart, had the thing packed to the brim, and we drove basically, so we were obviously in the infield, drove underneath the racetrack, into the racetrack, never saw any sort of racing going on. And then the first thing that the next morning, we were woken up at like 7 a.m. to the driving experience cars buzzing around the racetrack, which was like a cool experience in and of itself because it was the first thing that we saw on the racetrack and it was like our wake-up call. But it was cool just to get to there and then have literally nothing to do. Like there's nothing really planned out. It was like, where do you want to go today? Do you want to go to Volusia? Do you want to go to New Smyrna? Do you want to just hang out? Do you want to go, to the titty bar? Do you want to do whatever? So it's going to be cool this year where Charlie, we have nothing really planned other than if we go to the Tampa Bay Lightning game, that's going to have to probably be the first night, I would assume, because it makes sense. It's closer. But the only thing that I'm really like pretty keen on going to is Monday to New Smyrna to watch the ARCA race. And then Friday for the modified race, and then doing the double on Saturday for the Xfinity race, and then the 100-lap Super Late Model race. Those are the three things that I really care about. Obviously, we're going to the Daytona 500. We said that numerous times, but the thing with me is like everything that's going on at Daytona is cool, but like if we could make it work, I'm all in. But those three events that I just mentioned are like those 3 days at least is what I'm there for. And then everything else, I'm just going to be like, Charlie, since you've never done this where you don't have to crew, pick what you want to do and let's just go fucking do it. Because I mean, there's significant days at New Smyrna and Volusia and stuff. And there's not insignificant days, but you get it.
Right.
Well, just the fact that we're going to be down there for like 12 days, there's so much shit that we're going to be able to do just on the off days and stuff like that I never had before. So I'm looking forward to just kind of I'm a real big advocate for like if there is an experience, just do it. Like even as minuscule to the point where like when we went to Riverhead and we went on the ferry, Brad wanted to sleep. I was like, I have to just peruse around just because I've never done the ferry before. Like, and it's not a big deal, but stuff like that, I'm just a real big advocate for. If there's
Long Island listeners right now are just like, what a bunch of hermit crab weirdos.
Well, no, it's not even that. It's just like that. How many people, other than in our weird little niche group of friends and pals and people that listen to the show and stuff like that, how many people can say that, hey, I had to get on a boat to go to a racetrack once? It's stuff like that, and I find that stuff fucking really cool. So, things that piss me off are the people that go, like, we're from Maine, so we're going to Florida. Last thing I want to do is eat at like a chain restaurant. I want to eat at the one-of-a-kind restaurant that it's only there. I'm never going to have it anywhere else. That's the type of shit that I like to do. So I'm really pumped to go down there and just find all of those new experiences and stuff like that I can't do up here. That's 99% of the reason of traveling, which is, if you're going down there, do the things that are to do down there, if that makes sense.
It's very pleasing to me to hear that you guys, it's almost like you guys already have what advice I would give anybody to go if they're going to Florida. Like, short track racing is the coolest thing in the world to me. Go to Volusia, go to New Smyrna, especially the more important nights. But you're in Florida, like, I don't know, spend a couple days in Disney, do something cool like that. You mentioned the Tampa Bay game. That's super cool. I always wanted to do, so like my motorcycle trip, I rode to Key West, and you get to ride over a bunch of bridges, where it's open water. There's like the 7-mile bridge to get to Key West, and like go to one of the keys. I always thought that would be cool, like prior or leading up to Speed Weeks, to do that and visit Disney for a couple days. But so you guys have the right idea. I always make sure that if I go on one of these trips, like, go golfing, spend a day and go golfing or something like that, and don't just completely burn out with the racing stuff. Plus, it's freezing effing cold down there at night.
Yeah, for real though. Like, when we went down for the Derby, like I didn't feel like I had left home at all.
Right.
The first like 3 days that we were there. So, I think that a lot of times too, when you go down to a trip, we'll say for a racing trip such as this, because this is a racing podcast and we're talking about a trip that we're doing here pretty soon. But talking specifically going down for Speed Weeks, like you said, if you just do like Volusia or East Bay, Volusia, Bubba, Daytona, New Smyrna, whatever, blah, 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 you burn yourself out.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's just, we're there for racing. We love race cars. We love short track racing, even though we're so bad for it. But it's just that you can't do the same thing constantly, or else us fanatics are going to get burned out on it too. So I'm all about the experience of
I was just thinking randomly. I remembered upon our road trip discussions the first time that you actually grew up at a racetrack I visited. I visited Ventura Speedway.
Yep.
And you grew up there?
I was born in Mission Viejo, California. So I actually, the first two or 3 years of my life, I was in California. And one of the I don't really remember it all that much because I was so little. We moved to Maine when I was like 2 or 3, like I said. But allegedly, according to both of my parents, the first racetrack I ever went to was Ventura Speedway. And on my Facebook somewhere, and actually on the helmet that I got painted up this year for a throwback to my dad, he was racing a legend car at Ventura Speedway, and I'm a little tiny baby with my hands on the fence just watching him go by. So
I think I heard you mention that.
That's one of my first alleged racing experiences that I've been told was Ventura Speedway, which apparently if you miss like turn 2 or whatever, you land in the Pacific Ocean. Does that sound right?
Yeah, there's walls now. Maybe there wasn't back then.
All right, yeah.
But yeah, it's very scenic because on the left you kind of have like a mountainous view of the California mountains, and then to the right, is in turn 1 area is the ocean. So, palm trees and everything. It's one of the cooler places to go to. When you go there, it's like along the boardwalk, kind of. We wouldn't call it a boardwalk. It's not like there's shops and everything all over, but it's a very large sidewalk that's kind of boardwalk set up-ish. And then there's a racetrack. This day and age, that's baffling because racetracks in prime real estate areas, you don't come across that. But I guess it's on a fairground, and I don't know. They must enjoy it enough, and maybe it helps pay the bills of that piece of land where they don't do the fair all the time. It's just a seasonal fair, but Super cool. It's really neat to see something like that, which also reminds me, probably my favorite thing. This is totally out of whack. I don't know why it reminds me. Why? Yeah, why? Anyway, my favorite moments, I think, on this motorcycle road trip. Like I was traveling with my friends Danny and Mikey, Danny Cates. I have weird sense of humor.
Probably the funniest, driest sense of humor I have ever seen. Yes.
Yep. And I'm sure a lot of people won't imagine this and find it funny. But when I'm riding my motorcycle and I ride alongside of one of my best pals and we're going down the highway at, we'll say 75 miles an hour and his ball sack is hanging out of his pants, probably one of the funniest things I've ever seen in my life. I actually have video of it too. Actually, well, we can't post this on do they allow nudity on Patreon?
Don't know if you don't try. I'm pretty sure that's like the whole point of Patreon. It's like another OnlyFans.
Yeah, that's true. Do you want me to send it to you guys and you guys could have premiere content?
Yeah. We'll show the ball sack video to our pals on Patreon.
Well, it's actually not just the ball sack. It's the fact that I had a camera on my helmet, and traveling down the highway, I was able to reach over and sack tap him.
Yes, absolutely.
All right.
1000%. So for those that are listening, and if you haven't already, head on over to the Patreon app. Go look up Black Flag Podcast, become a Black Flag Podcast Patreon premium pal or whatever it is. Exclusive content with sack taps from Sean Foster to his pals on the motorcycle. Yep. Merchandise discounts and all sorts of other things too. So yeah, we'll have to put that up for sure.
All right. Yeah. I won't do it right now, but remind me at the end of this combo, and I will send it to you guys.
While we're on that, we did have quite a bit of action on the Patreon this week. We had Chad Wills, Amy Harrop, we had Farron Dayette, our pal Any Racing 207 over there on Twitter. This person has their email, William Sweat, I assume, and Tyler Cox. Those were the 6 people that followed us on Patreon, and I'm sure that the comments. So last week we kind of teased the fact that we ranked our favorite humans, and privately we were talking that maybe if we were to say that, yeah, we ranked our top 50 female listeners, or female people in general, not listeners, that maybe people would go over there and subscribe, and maybe it didn't work. But also we've never had 6 people in a week subscribe. So sorry for teasing you.
Yes, Cox, Tyler Cox.
Yeah. We've actually, so since this quarantine deal started, we've been very, very high on the Discord, and last night and the night before, and maybe the night before, we've been Discording with said Tyler Cox. Last night was a bit aggressive. Last night it was actually a lot of fun. So for me, we only have one iRacing rig.
What does Discording mean?
Discord's like Zoom, but for nerds.
My apologies. Continue.
Yeah. So it's kind of like more of a social media type of Zoom where you can always be logged in, and then you can join different groups of people that are also interacting and stuff. So
wait, isn't there another social media type thing where it's like Zoom, but you can it'll patch you into a totally random person?
Yeah, Omegle.
Okay. That sounds hilarious.
Speaking of Tyler Cox.
Yeah. Maybe we won't go there. So.
Oh wow! I already see where this is going. Cool.
Yeah.
The last 2 nights we've been in Discord, and so Charlie's obviously on the iRacing rig. Well, we just got a webcam a couple nights ago because I figured if I'm going to stay home and do nothing for a full week, I'm not going to be with my pals on Discord acting like I'm socializing. Without, maybe I'll cough through the webcam, give someone the cronies, but it's fine. Last night was fun because we had a whole group of people, starting with Tyler Cox was in there. We had Jake Johnson, Jake the Jet, the winner of the Snowflake 100. We had Max Cookson. We had Riley Lanfear, and we were all playing. We had a little tournament going with Pong, and it was getting very aggressive. And unfortunately, Charlie, being the android of the group, was not able to partake. So it was tough. It was tough to see. we were all video chatting too, so we're all just having a good time, just freaking out, getting a little worked up over the fact that I mean, I was until I got drunk, I was pretty bad at it, but once I got drunk, I was sinking them. I sunk 6 in a row on Cookson last night, and he got awfully upset. But I mean, he's still playing me in archery today, and he's awfully good at that. So I guess it's a win-lose for me. But if I can just beat him in one of the games, it's fine. So back to just racing stuff. I just want to say that the trip to Riverhead that Charlie's talked about numerous times, where I wanted to sleep. Yeah, we went to. It was aggressive. I think I got maybe an hour of sleep, and sleeping would have been cool for sure. But I'm glad that he dragged me up onto the boat because, like he said, that was an experience in and of itself. Never boated to a racetrack before, but also like 2020 was interesting in the fact that, for me at least, and I think Charlie as well, we never were. Not that we weren't big modified guys, but we didn't travel as much to go watch modifieds. Whereas this year, like I love modifieds, but it was like I would see them at Loudon, and I would see them maybe one other time throughout the year. Where this year I saw them, I think 7. Like, what did they race 9 times? I think I saw them 7 times or something like that. Well, this year when they went to White Mountain, it was like an event. It was almost like Loudon, like part 2, like junior, especially when they raced. I think they raced Saturday at Loudon. I mean at White Mountain, and then Sunday like the Cup cars were at Loudon. It was that weekend.
Yes,
it was like that was a fun little deal. Even though like you can't beat modifieds at Loudon, but modifieds at White Mountain was cool. And just to wrap the whole like kind of year up, where we became big modified guys with going on a boat to Riverhead to watch that last race of the year was something in and of itself. Although it didn't wrap up our year because we ended up, being bougie and flying to Florida for the Snowball 100 or 1 million or whatever, Snowflake 100. I'm still wrapped up in Jake the Jet Johnson, but that was just such a cool event of it in and of itself, and I'm glad that Charlie dragged me to it. But yeah, I mean, what a year 2020 was, and I'm glad that I ended it with the coronavirus. That's fitting, very fitting.
Good job, buddy. Always listen to Charlie and his advice. I'm sure.
Well, I wouldn't go that aggressive, but
yeah. Did you just hear him clear his throat? Because I tested positive and I haven't cleared my throat this whole Zoom call. So I think he probably also has it. That's the thing is you can't test positive if you don't get tested. It's something that you need to reiterate.
Yeah. That's honestly for the safety of numbers and the entire population, just don't get tested because you can't be positive if you don't get tested. I think that's how that works, right?
Like I don't mean to be I don't know, Johnny bad news over here, but I'm starting to think that the coronavirus I wasn't really big on how the coronavirus isn't like that big of a deal. Now I think it's even less of a deal because I tested positive, and I swear to God the only symptom I've had this whole day is I still kind of need to sneeze. And I stood up and I looked at the light like fucking Zach Bagans and fucking Ghost Adventures or whatever, and I couldn't sneeze. That's a reference that's gonna get lost on probably everyone, but that's fine. It is what it is. And it's bugging the shit out of me. Like I feel maybe I don't know if I sound a little nasally, but like I've had hangovers. Like basically sometime last weekend I was exposed. Oh
wow! Please explain.
Yeah, so I basically had my pants down and people saw.
Oh my God, this is so hot.
maybe since we were face up on that FaceTime call, that was when I was exposing everyone, and you just didn't. Yeah, you couldn't see like right now. But so on Tuesday night, like I do every single week ever, I went out and got hammered with all my buddies. And so Wednesday, I woke up severely hungover, like bad headache, typical hangover feeling. And I'm like, shit, like that, I feel awful. So hangover though, I had 4. So I had 2 Trulies before we went out. I had 4 pitchers of Coors Light, and then I had 2 Trulies when I got back home. Hangover makes sense. Went to work, felt fine the whole entire day. Came home, was like, I'm exhausted because I decided to play iRacing until 1:30 in the morning instead of going to sleep when I have to be up for work at like 5:36. Took a nap, woke up, had a fever of 101.9. And now typically, so like I have like the symptoms that I have right now, I've literally had for probably 4 months. Like I just have allergy symptoms like all the time. Like it's just a thing. So I never think anything of it. Like if I just had these symptoms, I would never have gotten tested ever. But when I had a fever of 101 point, like almost 102, basically, like I'm about to actually catch on fire, like I'm in the fucking Fantastic Four or whatever, I was like, I guess I schedule a test. So I texted my boss and I'm like, hey, I have a fever. I don't know what that means, but I don't typically have a fever. So I'm going to go get tested. Went and got tested. They said positive. And it was funny because like I went to a place over by Cabela's, it's like Convenient MD or something. It's basically in Scarborough. That's lost on you and everyone else, but it's basically just like a walk-in clinic. So I walked in. I'm like, can I get a rapid test? Yep, fine. They test me, whatever. And then the doctor, like the lady's like, the doctor's going to come in and like give you your information and, you know, the next steps, next things you need to do, whatever. He literally, like I waited a half an hour for the results. He opens the door, leans in, hands me a stack of papers, goes, your test was positive. Turns around and leaves. Thanks, pal. Appreciate that. Like what I don't know what I was expecting, but a little bit maybe more of that. Like, oh, you know, get some rest, stay hydrated.
Sorry, sir. Yeah.
Yeah.
You were looking for sympathy is what you're looking for.
Take some Advil. Yeah, at least like an over the pants hand job or something to get me on my way.
Oh wow. Well, if you find a doctor that does that, then I'm gonna get Roni virus on purpose. And
I mean, I could give you the Roni virus if you really want.
with over the pants hand job.
Yeah. Yeah. Because my arms aren't 6 feet long, pal.
Nor is anything else.
Well, maybe this could almost be like a Dutch rudder, where if you held hands with,
oh no,
with Charles, and then he, like, it was almost like, remember people used to dance and they would do like a wave from one end of their arm to the other. Well, it's like you could do that, and then it would go through Charlie, and then Charlie would be grasping onto me. And so that's almost like a Dutch rudder, where it's you who's giving the HJ, but in reality, I mean, we all know Charlie's the one who's doing the tugging.
Yeah.
What is that supposed to mean when in reality?
I'm all in on that.
You're the one making skin to skin contact, but the person who's starting the wave is Brad. So he's doing the we're all doing the motion. Very good.
If this was a video program.
Yeah, that was good. That was good for us anyway.
Yeah.
Nice inside joke.
We just created some sort of a move. It's a variation of the Dutch rudder, but I don't know. Is that what is? Am I right with Dutch rudder?
I honestly couldn't tell you. I've never partaken in the act.
I think Dutch rudder is. I think it's when one person's hand is on a private part, a member.
Penis, if you will.
If you will. And what you do is you move that person's hand.
That seems like a lot of work. Why wouldn't you just use your own hand at that point?
Because it's a Dutch rudder. It's. You know what? I'm looking it up right now. You guys keep talking.
I'm curious to see what your search history is like if you're looking at Dutch rudder on a podcast.
You don't want to know.
Actually, yeah, just lay it out all out for us. Just read whatever.
Yeah, what's your top 3 fucking searches? Or your most 3 recent searches?
All right, so a Dutch rudder is having someone complete the act of masturbation by pulling up and down on the forearm while the male holds his own penis. Okay, I was a little backwards. So if you're holding your own.
So you hold your own dick and somebody moves your hand on your dick.
Right. So that way there's no skin-to-skin contact.
Am I paralyzed or something? Like, why would I need that?
I think it's so that the other person, let's say they're homophobe or something, and they don't want to actually perform the act. So
I feel like if that's your true feeling, though, you're not going to put yourself in the situation where there's just a bare penis in the room anyway.
Yeah, Chuck, I don't really know. I
just work here.
I've never seen one that I thought looked cool. Mine, I think, looks really neat.
When you're talking about Dutch rudders or just penises?
No, penises in general. Like,
is it penises or peni?
It could be peni. I don't know. Now it's your turn to look something.
Oh, it's my turn now?
Yeah. But
right.
I've never seen one that really intrigued me or anything.
I mean, for those
mine looks really neat. I like it a lot. But I've never seen one that's like, yeah, that one's cool, just like mine.
So like if you were to have like a penile store and you were looking for one for yourself, like if say you're a Ken doll and you had to pick a penis for yourself, is yours the one that you would pick?
Yeah.
Every time?
Oh yeah.
So you've never just seen another one and been like, hey, I wish that was mine?
No. I've seen them before too, and it's.
You wouldn't take one with like red pubes or anything? No, just.
No, absolutely not. That's disgusting.
So penis it's a noun, if you're curious. The plural form is peens, P-E-N-E-S, or penises. Peni is not an option.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's peens, P-E-N-E-S.
The Black Flag podcast is also educational.
Yeah, you've never been more welcome, listeners.
This is great.
Yeah, peens.
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 Scenes peen. I thought peni was pretty funny, but peens take the fucking cake, though.
Yeah. Well, it ices the cake.
Oh, wait.
Uh-huh.
Right.
Oh,
Yeah. Very good. Very good.
After a Dutch rudder or what?
I hope not. I don't know. It just seems like an awkward act. Like
Well,
if you're gonna jerk me off, just jerk me off.
Well, no, maybe it's to work into it. Like if you're really nervous, like if you're.
I feel like if you're nervous, then you're not gonna have the penis in the conversation to begin with. Like it's just not gonna be there.
That's true, but
and if you're nervous and awkward about it, the only thing to make it more awkward to be like, hey, you should grab that, and then I'll move your hand up and down. Like, what are we in 4th grade? What's going on here?
Hey, I can think of a lot of weird predicaments that I've tried to approach females with. Like, hey, well, what if we did this? Then,
what's get one off the top of your head right now?
Hey, is the time up or no?
No, we have all night.
I think we should probably stop the show now.
No, I think we got time, right, Brett?
No, yeah. We can't end the show with you talking about how confident you are.
No, I think Brad's getting sick.
You still have more left in that cup, so we're not done.
Yeah.
No, it's empty. See?
As he takes another haul off it.
Let's go on.
I mean, but it's mixed with Red Bull, so like you have all night.
Yeah, so now you're awake.
Yeah, I can see your wings.
And tomorrow, wait, what is today? I don't even know. So today's Saturday. Tomorrow's Sunday. You don't have to work tomorrow anyway. Probably.
No, my internet connection's. I don't know. I don't think.
No, you're fine on our end. It looks good. Looks good to me. Yeah.
Oh God, I've never met anyone as confident in their own peen as Scene.
Yeah, no, Scene loves his peen for sure.
I think it's a good scene.
Yeah, no. Does your peen cause scenes? Because that's a whole other separate issue.
Yeah.
You're not flattering any women. We don't have any women listeners.
No, God, no.
But we're
never flat.
I'm sure. Oh,
you have a flap?
No, it's never flat.
Oh, I thought you said you had a flap.
No, Brad said something about it being flat or something.
Yeah. Wait, flat Earth? Is that a whole nother thing?
Who has a flap? What's a flap?
Like a piss flap.
Oh, females have that, right?
Yeah, I don't know. I've never seen one.
Wait, are you uncircumcised?
No, I'm mine's snipped.
Pal, you got a hot pocket?
No, I don't have a.
I don't think he'd be that confident in it if he was.
Wow.
Had one.
I don't know. I feel like it's a party trick.
Yeah, not to judge people who have that. I mean, there's not.
No, it's fine if you do. It's just I hope you clean it. That's all.
For your sake or theirs?
Well, I mean, not for mine. I'm just in general. Generally speaking, health and wellness.
Yeah, genitally speaking, I agree.
Here at the COVID compound.
Yeah, we have our own cleaning practices. We hope you do too.
Yeah. We're actually hosting a COVID party if anybody wants to come.
Yeah. Scene.
Yeah, buddy.
Scene, do you want COVID?
I don't know.
It doesn't seem to be all that bad.
No, I'm not sure if I ever had it or not. I've had instances where I figured maybe I have. After I came back from the Daytona 500, I did have a fever, but COVID wasn't a big deal at that time, or wasn't nationwide news or whatever. So I didn't think anything of that. So I'm guessing I had it. I don't know.
I thought that I had it, but then I guess I didn't, because now I do.
Maybe you got it twice.
Well, yeah, could be just that lucky.
Yeah.
That is either Bradley or I's luck for sure, getting it twice.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there was two completely. So literally, like, this is gonna get lost on everyone else, but as of middle of last week, I got these emergency packets, and I started taking all my vitamins and everything, and I take CBD every morning, and I'm like, there are two like worst case scenarios for me to catch the coronies, and that is either before our North Carolina trip or before our Daytona trip. So I was taking emergency packets, I was taking my vitamin D supplement, I was taking my multivitamin, I was taking CBD every single morning. And then I was like, I cannot catch COVID before North Carolina or Daytona. And surprise, I did. And now we can't go to Dillon, and we can't go hang out with all of our friends for another couple weeks. So, yeah, I mean, it is what it is. It's not the luck that you're looking for, but we can't all be lucky, I guess.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. You've been taking so much emergency that you've turned into emergency man.
Yes.
Wait,
yeah. So, but
semen?
I mean, yeah, yeah, with like an S. Yeah. But at least next week I get to not go to North Carolina, but I get to see you in Connecticut at Foxwoods.
Oh, that's so cute. Yes, I'm excited.
My quarantine ends on Friday, and I'm gonna go hang out and party with all my friends on Saturday. So
yeah, I can't wait to flip Sean again.
What else are you guys planning on doing for are you guys staying overnight at the Fox?
I believe so. Either we're gonna stay overnight there, or there's a hotel. I guess B. Wilkes said there's a hotel about a mile away that's like, I don't know, $150 cheaper per night. And like, when I don't get paid for this whole week, I might have to take a gander at that.
I thought you got free stay.
No,
that was a one-time affair.
We're not that famous. Yeah, just that one time.
Oh.
Yeah.
Isn't it weird that I've never had peanut butter and jelly sandwiches?
Really?
Your faces say yes.
Neither have I.
Who said that?
I've never had a peanut butter and jelly sandwich in my entire life.
Oh, yeah.
I feel so much better now. Do you have a reason?
I felt like you guys were talking about that.
Yes. Do you have a what even brought that up, first of all?
I don't know.
We were complaining about how we were poor, and how you don't like peanut butter. That's like one of your top 3 things, even though you like Harry Dick, but you don't like whatever.
I didn't.
Yeah, you will accept it in your mouth, is what you
said. Yeah. There's 3 things that you won't eat. It's tomatoes, peanut butter, and hairy pussy, but the other ones are all up in the air. But something about the whole peanut butter and jelly thing, and how you associate that with being poor, because when you didn't have money in your bank account for lunch, you were given a peanut butter and jelly. Well, I was very much like I grew up very poor, yeah, and peanut butter and jelly was like a delicacy. Like, love it. Like, I've had probably, I don't know, at least 1,000 peanut butter and jellies in my entire life. Like,
every variation of it. Like, do you have a particular jelly and like a procedure?
Oh yeah. I go strawberry jelly, and honestly, I've been on a big Skippy peanut butter, like the honey, the one with honey in it. Like, I've been on a big one of those kicks for a while. Yeah. I mean, now I'm rich, so I can afford that. I don't have to just go store brand peanut butter or whatever. I like Skippy.
Hi, I'm Sean.
Oh, what? Excuse me?
I said, hi, Rich. I'm Sean.
Yeah. And I've always gone. White bread's not good for anyone, right? I've always gone wheat just to try to be healthy. You know, no bread's good, but wheat bread is a little bit better. I mean, white bread is I don't know.
I like a whole grain.
Yeah, I'll eat whatever kind of bread. I'm gonna take the crust off it probably, but I'll strawberry jelly every time. and then the Skippy peanut butter honey deal. Yeah, good.
See, I used to do just jelly sandwiches.
Is that true, or are you lying?
Nope, that's a thing. Swear to God.
You see, I grew up like you guys talk about your poor days of growing up, and I wasn't that way. But in more recent time, like when I was trying to do short track racer as a full-time gig, I became extremely poor. And I tried for my first time a peanut butter sandwich. Not because I wanted to, but didn't have any options at that point.
Yep.
So that's the closest I ever got to peanut butter and jelly. But I don't know, I couldn't work myself to be like, hey, I'll put some, well, it's probably because I didn't have any in the house. No, it's not because of that. It's because I don't know. That's tough. That's tough for me to say, you know what this needs is some jelly.
Couldn't afford it? Is that what it was?
No, I probably could have gotten away with some jelly, but
the one thing I will say is I don't peanut butter. I don't peanut butter often, or really ever. But I will very intermittently and occasionally. I will do a peanut butter and fluff.
See, I've never done that either.
I'll do a fluff and butter for sure.
I will do.
That's like wicked. Like once every 2 years, I'll do.
Here's something that's healthy and filling: Ritz cracker, peanut butter, cheddar cheese, apple. A wonderful combination of flavors.
Okay, big question right here. You ever had a Lunchable?
No.
Okay, never mind. You've literally never had a Lunchable?
No, but all my friends did, and the ones who, like I had a friend who was allergic to peanut butter, or peanuts, I should say, and I would always be happy when he would have the peanut butter cup in the thing. It was...
You've literally never had a Lunchable. I don't believe that.
Not to myself. I don't remember if I ever did, like, try it from a friend or something. No, I never did.
Well,
remember, I didn't grow up poor.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
Well, it's not.
I was gonna say there's a particular order in which you make your snack.
Oh, right,
And for me, it was always cracker, cheese, meat.
Yeah. No, I was very fortunate. I didn't grow up poor, so I didn't have to try peanut butter and jellies and Lunchables. Is Lunchables even a poor person's meal, or no?
I think they're actually kind of expensive, honestly.
Oh,
No, they're like $2